Hey,
Hey,
Andrew.
hey, wow, hey, it's been a while since we've done a cast.
Yeah,
Yeah, we've been busy.
yeah. Been busy getting shuffled aside, so I can't do any videos with you guys when you do fun ones. I
Working
feel
on
I
it.
feel like I'm at the low end of the stick over here.
We're working on this because we prefer to analyze your mind, not just, your, splashy duck, smorbo, sucky duck.
I could do better at that game than that other guy.
We'll get to that. But anyway, in regards to this, we're starting a new series called Microcasts, where we're just going to be talking about, because sometimes I want to talk about something, but you can't do a full cast on it, kind of thing like that. So
And
these are
that's
going to be
the end
short.
of the cast.
Let's
Did
see
it,
that.
did it.
Well, not that short, but okay. Just we're gonna jump right into it. Kevin, last time we actually did something like this, we talked about like human greed and stuff, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and something kind of bothered me because both of us kind of watch financial news and things. And it seems like every 2 or 3 months, some story comes out with some person who's old or they pass away, and then they've worked minimum wage their entire life, and all the rest of it. They never
Oh,
seem to
yeah. Or
have
they
money.
struggled.
Yeah, yeah. And then they die, and it turns out they have like millions of dollars in the bank because they lived so incredibly simply that they got rich.
Yeah, but what did it matter?
But yeah, why does it matter? But we're not going to talk about like the philosophical questions about it. What do I want to
No?
discuss is no, like
Oh, gee, Andrew, what are we going to talk about?
I'm curious about your personal opinion on this, Kevin. What is the difference then between living simply within your means and trying to save and just being cheap?
Oh, the difference between. I know the difference.
Okay.
The difference is when you go to a restaurant.
Ignore the purring cat, by the way, if you can hear.
Can you hear her? Oh my goodness. She's sniffing the microphone.
Oh, there we go.
This is so cute. Okay,
Anyway,
the difference between living simply and being cheap. Like
yeah.
being a frugal
For
person.
me,
and being
it's if
cheap.
you cut your own hair. Now, I don't mean like if you just buzz it kind of thing, because then you just need a buzzer and a towel, right? I mean like you're actually cutting and styling your hair.
Cutting and styling your
Now, if you get somebody else to cut your hair, like a significant other, that's fine.
Oh, you know what? I was gonna say something, but I thought of something better.
Okay.
You know where we could find out the answer to this question?
I don't know. Where?
That show, Extreme Cheapskates.
I hate that show.
But those
get
are the
ang-
real people.
I know, but I get angry when I watch that show.
Did you
Like, I get
see?
angry.
Did you see the one with the Asian lady who restrings the elastics in her underwear,
Yeah, so she doesn't have to buy new ones.
so she doesn't
and
have to buy new?
She like
She was a
eats
dumpster
everything
diver.
cold because why waste the money to warm up food? And it's just like it made me really. And she had a good job too, if I remember.
Yeah, she had a really good job.
Like I'm not. She's not going to be a millionaire or whatever, but she had a good job.
She looked normal on the outside, and she was, but she was also a dumpster diver.
No, it.
She like hung out at the grocery stores after they closed, and like went through
What's the point at that point of having the money? Kind of.
Well, she tried to justify it. I remember in that case because she said that she was able to save up enough that she was able to buy her own place in Manhattan. I think.
Okay, so
She's
she has a
gotta say
goal.
something, yeah.
All right, but then what happens when you hit that goal?
Well, you would think that she would stop dumpster diving.
I don't know.
I was gonna say cheap is when you go to a restaurant and you're worried about exactly how much you're giving for a tip. You just don't hit the like button on the machine.
Oh, like the percentage?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Well, I mean, everyone, you want to make sure you're giving enough, but I mean,
Okay,
some
what's
people
what's the lowest denomination of currency you're willing to bend over and pick over?
Ooh. Maybe a loony or a toonie. I'd pick up a loony or a toonie.
Yeah, I think I'd pick up a loony. Yeah.
If I saw a quarter there, though, it's not really. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Because maybe if I'm sad, I'll pick up a cord just because they can use it for laundry.
Oh, laundry. Yeah.
Because we have to use a public laundromat, which of course takes quarters, right?
Yeah.
But I would refuse to pick up a dime or less, no matter what. And usually I won't pick up the quarter either. Usually it's only $1 or higher for me.
Sometimes I don't even pick up a loony if I see it because it's, there's probably some homeless bum out there who needs it more.
Oh, so you're being charitable.
No, not really. I never give homeless people money, but sometimes I won't pick it up if I see it.
Would you feel embarrassed if you're on a busy street and you see a loony and you stop to take the time to pick it up?
Yeah, and then I probably wouldn't pick it up.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I'd be like, loony, I don't need that. I could buy a half a bacon McDouble.
Bacon McDouble?
I don't know.
So,
Yeah.
all right. So, in your opinion, then, being cheap is you pausing, worried about literally like a dollar or two extra on something, kind of a concept. It's like, let's pretend you really want some chips or something like that, but the grocery stores are closed. You'd have to go to the 7-Eleven. You know it costs 80 more cents at the corner store, but you have to go there. But so you refuse to get it, and you just be miserable all night because you don't want the chips.
That's being a little, cheap, yeah. But I think if you shortchange people, like not just wait staff, but if you like also try to shortchange, like if you're buying something or getting something done and then you're arguing about it, it's
Oh, like bartering.
yeah. But I mean, yeah. See, that's not true either because sometimes bartering's appropriate.
Well, like I work in retail right now, and I'll sometimes try to get people to barter with me.
Yeah.
It's like I work in a corporation, an American corporation franchise store thingy like that. Clearly, I have no power whatsoever with the pricing, but people still feel the need. And we mentioned this in another podcast back in the day, but in Canada, we pay taxes on everything.
Lots of taxes.
Lots of taxes. And you'd be amazed how many people say, well, can't you just take the taxes off for me because I'm buying stuff? And I just look at them and say, welcome to Canada. And then they get mad at me like, me as an individual, I am robbing them because I'm making them pay taxes.
That's funny. Do you tell them that you're just keeping them?
Oh, yeah, I'll pocket the money in front of them. Like, no. Like, okay, so if being cheap, so the line of just spending carefully then, because I grew up, my mother, dear old mommy, went and told me, you can be cheap all you want except on food, kind of thing.
Well, you should never
spend
put
money
your
on
nutrition
food.
At risk.
Yeah, like spend the extra few bucks and get good food, kind of a concept. And I think that kind of carried over with me because I use like unmentionables and socks until the day they just evaporate into thin air, and people sometimes
just
get
like the lady on the cheapskates.
Well, yeah, but
Do you
like
restring your underwear, Andrew?
no, I don't restring it. Then I'll get rid of it. But
This is a Kevin exclusive scoop. Andrew does not restring his underwear.
I don't restring my underwear.
Oh, you know what might be cheap if you have a sickly cat and you just take it to that one-way box in the sky.
Oh, poor Shinuvia. I dropped a fair amount of money on my cat, but I do know people who are like that. Oh, the cat or dog or
cat's broken.
Well, it'll get better. It'll get better. It gets worse. It'll get better. It'll get better. And then it passes away. Like, well, we'll just get another one.
Play more where that came from.
It's like, now, lucky for them, I was either A, too young, and so I was naive, or B, I was not there, as now that I am older, or else I would have yelled and screamed at them.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, okay, if you insist, because you kind of half mentioned this at one point back.
Being cheap is when you're not being responsible.
Yeah, okay. Responsibility. Yeah.
Responsibility for your pets, for your family.
Yeah, things like this.
For your health.
Like, you kind of mentioned this at one point. You once said that you only consider to be cheap as if it affects other people.
Yeah, there you go. That's just what I said, yeah.
Yeah, and I thought that was a good point. So, if
you go out with a bunch of people to do something at night, you got to be prepared to, pay to play.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So if you're being a Debbie Downer or a Kevin Killjoy, then you shouldn't have gone out if you knew you couldn't afford it, like in the first place.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like I like
oh,
that.
Guys, I don't really think we should go here. It's kind of, I don't know, right?
Oh, can't we go to that other theater where it's cheaper, or why can't we just go to McDonald's to eat?
I thought we were just gonna go out to Burger King today.
No, that's a good. Not to play stereotypes here, but I know certain ethnic backgrounds. A lot of it has to do with outwardly appearance. No, and so you look at them on the outside when they're out and about. Cultural background, thank you. And they have the latest electronic gizmos and gadgets, and they'll have high-end, clothing and all the rest of it. They got sweet mode of transportation, whether or not it is a car or a bike or what have you.
Oh, but then they don't want to tip you.
But then they won't tip. But then, let's pretend you actually go to said person's house or whatever like that.
Uh-huh.
There, in extreme cases, there won't be furniture. And they'll have just one mattress, where they sleep on, and they're eating nothing but, like ramen noodles, like Mr. Noodle packs and stuff like that, because that's all they can afford, because they spend literally all their money to look like they have lots of money. It's almost like the opposite.
Some people like ramen noodles.
Well, there's nothing wrong with ramen noodles, but you need more than that, It's like the opposite of what we first went and mentioned. People who look like they're broke constantly, but they have the money because they're trying to save up. But then other people who spend all their money make it look like they have money when really they have like nothing left. Cause
I think that's related to social climbing.
Yeah, I think so.
If you, I think here we would call it fake it till you make it.
Oh, okay. Looking the part.
Yes, because actually looking the part is I've never tried it myself, so I can't say how far it'll carry you.
Yeah.
But I think it must work to a certain extent, especially if you're in something like sales.
Yeah.
If you look successful.
Oh, yeah, like I understand, but like just socializing generally with other people who know you.
Yeah, I know. There's, yeah.
Like I have clothes that if I'm going out to grocery shop, I throw on whatever. But then I have a few clothes where if I'm trying to, like, I'm going out with such and such a person, I have to actually look halfway decent.
That means that you're guilty of doing the same thing.
Kind of, but like at least when you come into my place, like I have a proper bed. I have an internet connection, kind of thing. I have a cat that eats food every day.
Maybe you could just say that people like to put their best foot forward. No?
I guess, yeah. Just don't sacrifice certain aspects of your life.
Well, you could say that we're sacrificing.
Which part would we be sacrificing?
Well, I mean, this house is ready to fall down at any
moment. Yeah, but that's because we're living in Toronto. There's like a housing crisis going on and all the rest of it there. Affordable housing is non-existent.
Yes. And we have an amazing location.
Yeah.
But
the place is dilapidated and falling apart.
Yeah, we're protected though. We're under 2 other floors, so the probably won't leak on us for quite a while.
Yeah. That's totally the way it works. All right. So in conclusion, then, as long as people don't, as long as
you're responsible,
as long as you're responsible with your money, you can be cheap, but don't slack off on stuff that should be done, kind of thing like that. If you need a new toothbrush, buy the toothbrush. If your cat needs to have her tooth pulled, get the cat's tooth pulled.
This is really about Andrew's cat.
It's really about my cat.
He's really sad that he sees, animal...
Oh, she's got a fat lip right now.
I think this podcast should have been more about animal, responsibility.
No.
Anyway, right, Shinobi. Put a picture of Shinobi right here so you can see what we're talking about.
Shinobi girl.
See, isn't she cute?
Yeah.
You'd be responsible and spend $1 on this cute little guy, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Poor little kitty girl.
Let the audience tell you if they would.
Yeah. Anyway, leave in the comment. What about the cat? How cute she is, and also, what do you think the line is between being cheap and just being careful with your money?
Yeah.
And on a side note, if you're that bored, what's the lowest denomination you're willing to pick up?
Yes, yeah. What would you bend over to pick up?
Yeah. Both if you're alone and if there's people everywhere.
Yes, that's more important. Yeah.
All right, anyway, have yourselves a good night. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.